After rumors and talk have circulated around about it for about the past week, it is now official. HAAS is going back to Chevrolet for both Cup and the Xfinity Series, going from Ford that it's been with for years to Chevrolet again, meaning they will fully return to the pre-Tony Stewart status quo, the pre-2010 status quo. They will go back to being more or less a lower-tier Chevy team underneath the Hendrick Motorsports umbrella and alliance, just like, again, they did back in the 2000s. And I think they'll probably, honestly, remain the same in 2026 as they are in 2025. And I mean by that is performance. They'll be probably mediocre at best in Cup, getting their legs underneath them and then getting that Chevrolet and Hendrick help. But I think they'll probably still be a mostly competitive Xfinity Series team. Now, there are questions, I think, to ask about this, and I think they go in two different ways. For one, you have to ask about HAAS. What will the effect be? Will HAAS be used as a Hendrick Motorsports feeder team to really develop Hendrick drivers if they only have one Cup Series program, which, based on how they've talked about it, sounds like is going to be the more likely outcome. Now, Hendrick Motorsports, I should say, is rumored to go full-time next year with their 17 car in the Xfinity Series, so there are a lot of questions when it comes to that alliance down there to talk about. Same with the JRM side of things. But I think the interesting talk is about Ford itself, and more specifically Ford in the Xfinity going to O'Reilly Series. And my question is this: what is the pipeline and pathway forward? Because when you look at competitive or semi-competitive teams right now that are Fords and could remain Ford next year in the Xfinity Series, you have RSS Racing with the 28 and the 39, and then you have AM Racing with the 25 and Harrison Burton. Maybe there's more that could pop up from those teams, but Joseph Wrigley even said on X that it's unclear if RSS Racing will remain a Ford-backed organization in 2026, though there's different rumblings of other possible teams, lower ones at other OEMs that are currently in the Xfinity Series that might be able to go over. And that's a good option. Maybe they can level up to be at the level HAAS is at now, to be at the level that Joe Gibbs Racing and JRM and all of them are at. But that's unclear right now. Maybe we'll find out more in the coming days and weeks, though. Could Penske return? Now, that's a rumor I know I and others have been hearing a lot, that Team Penske could come back down to the Xfinity Series and could have one or two teams that are as competitive probably as they were back in the day when Austin Cindric was winning all those races with them. Now, they do have Carson Kvapil signed in some way to a deal with Penske, but it's unclear if that starts in 27 or 26, and it's unclear if Penske even comes down in 26 or pushes off to 27. So for the time being, Ford, I think, is almost going to be MIA for the 2026 season down there. I think that if Penske comes back down, they'd probably be even more competitive than HAAS right now. They'd probably be winning races. And when you look at the Ford pipeline of development, there is solid talent they've acquired or are about to acquire or have been coming up through the Ford ranks. You got Lane Riggs, for instance. He is tearing it up right now in the Truck Series and is about the only one off speed alone that can actually stick with Corey Heim, which in my opinion is really impressive. I don't care what team you're on. Chandler Smith, his teammate, last second deal to get him into the truck, but if he goes back up to the Xfinity Series, Ford might want to try and keep him. And if they do, they're going to need a pretty good team like a Penske or like anyone else who might jump over there to support him. Sam Mayer, he has been checkers or wreckers a lot in his career. There's plenty of talent there, but there's reasons that he's still in Xfinity. And if they want to retain him, again, they're probably going to want long-term a team to have him with if he's in there for 2027, as it sounds like Creed and Mayer will be sticking with HAAS when they go over to Chevrolet. Look over at AM Racing, for instance. Harrison Burton has done a marvelous job in that car. That car was out to lunch last year. First with Hailie Deegan, then with a multitude of other drivers that did better than Deegan, but not by that much. He is solidly in the playoff hunt heading into the regular season finale. Could Harrison get another shot? People forget he was good in Xfinity, and he just might not have been ready for a Cup ride when he got pushed up too soon. So that is something else that you got to look at, and why they need a competitive team with them. Maybe RFK comes down. I know there's been different rumors a few times that Brad Keselowski wants to have an Xfinity Series program to build up a pipeline for his team so they're not relying on Ford's, let's be honest, terrible development program. And Brad has been ambitious with this team just about every step of the way. When it comes to how he tries to do different things, whether it be on social media, whether it be to acquire different drivers, sponsors, whatnot, he wants to build Roush back up to the juggernaut that it used to be. And this could follow the lead of what Hendrick Motorsports sounds like they're doing, of the possible Penske Xfinity Series foray that they could do in 26 or 27. They would follow the lead of Cup teams rebuilding their Xfinity Series programs. Right now, there are still some down there. Again, JRM is an offshoot of Hendrick Motorsports. You got Joe Gibbs Racing, you got Richard Childress Racing, but it would probably serve a lot of these Cup teams well to have some sort of presence down there. Because at this time, not only with Ford, but in general, the development pipeline for the OEMs is really muddied up. And with it too, and with Dodge seemingly on the way for 2027, it's only going to get more difficult to keep your long-term prospects in your building, under your umbrella. And we've seen already defectors from other ones. Chevrolet, you saw Sam Mayer go over to Ford before now being back at Chevrolet. You've seen Chandler Smith be pretty much let go and given to the Ford side of things from Toyota. And Joe Gibbs Racing is almost famous for this at this point. So I think that this is actually going to open up more interesting questions than answers we're going to get in the short term. But I do think that the Xfinity going to a Riley series in 3-4 years, I think that landscape, not just with drivers, because that's a known given, but with teams is going to be a completely different landscape. I think it's going to be kind of similar to what we saw in the 2000s and early 2010s, where a lot of Cup teams had a lot of presence down there, and maybe it'll be more competitive for that reason, especially with the new OEM coming in. So with that, I want to know what you think. First off, how do you think Haas is going to perform next year? Do you think they're going to be about the same, better, worse, you name it? Let me know. And then also, who do you think goes over to Ford? Whether it be a Cup team coming down or another Xfinity Series team, or maybe even a truck team coming up. Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more great and fun NASCAR content. Thank you so much to all my channel members for your continued support. Until next time, have a good one.